Yeah, this is it. We're a bit bigger than what you're probably used to if you've been watching the
Yeah.
Football Manager videos, where we're down in whichever corner it is, probably that one.
No, it's that one. Or whatever you see it as.
But that's not the point of this. The point of Crowscast is that it's a bit more of a chat. We're gonna sort of bring you up to speed on what's been going on around the club.
Yeah, so whether you're watching on YouTube or Apple Podcasts, we hope you're enjoying this.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get it onto Apple Podcasts. That'd be
Or
pretty cool.
if this is on Apple Podcasts. Because if this is on Apple Podcasts, then you'll be just hearing our voice at the moment. If you're watching on YouTube, then you'll just be seeing us right here.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get it onto Apple Podcasts. So we're at the day of recording this, our first league game against Saltdean. Our first league game against Saltdean is before, so it's kind of like a pre-match special we're going to do for you.
Yeah, so we'll quickly sort of summarise pre-season. We'll talk about signings, who we've got, and then I think if you've seen the Football Manager video, maybe you haven't. Score predictions. I'm going 3-0. I'm going to go right off the bat. Beginning of the video, I'm going 3-0. No disrespect to Saltdean. I just think that we're at home. It's the first game of the season. Boys are going to be fired up.
Yeah, I think Saltdean, when we played against them, they're a very good side. I don't think it's gonna be easy. I think it's our first time playing a league game, so it's gonna be nerves are gonna be high. We're gonna be wanting to win this. So I think we're gonna just about win it. We can score 2 goals past them, but later on they are gonna get one to make it 2-1 instead.
Maybe, but I mean, I'm just sort of going to go through our pre-season if I can find it. The squad.
Yeah, let's summarise our pre-season. Let's do a little summary of each match, what we thought of it, and then we can tell you our views on it and just talk about pre-season, because it was an interesting one. It was a very interesting one, I suppose. There was wins. There was all sorts of things. What is the word?
All sorts of
Results, that's the word.
And you expect that in pre-season.
Yeah,
let's be honest. It's not going to be play 6, win 6, and even if it was, would that be relative to what we're expecting from the team? Probably not. The results don't matter. What matters is minutes in the legs. Everyone loves that phrase if you're on Twitter and things like that. But also it's building the bond of the squad. Now, the squad hasn't changed much from last year. Yes, we've lost a couple, but it is a couple. And we've also gained a couple, and the couple coming back, the likes of Ollie Wellborn, know the club, know the players. So we should have, going into this first game of the season, a very, very settled squad, which could be a real advantage as we hit the early fixtures. Maybe some teams, like we did last year, have had a high turnover of players, and then we can hit them while they're not gelled.
Yeah, so let's have a look at... So our first game, which we didn't go to, was Crowborough versus Snodland Town.
Yeah.
And that was played at St Gregory's Catholic School.
Yeah, so neutral venue. Look, we weren't there. We won't comment. I've heard that we played well. Probably wasn't a 3-1. Again, with no disrespect to Snodland there. I'm sure that you feel otherwise, but that's part of being a Crowborough fan.
Yeah, it's part of being a fan of a club.
But also, I wouldn't be afraid at this point to say, you know, if I'd heard negative things through pre-season. I think pre-season is a time that you can not be negative, but it's learning points rather than anything else. So let's move on to the first game of our pre-season that we went to.
Yeah, and that was against Corinthian, and the score was 1-3. I think we played very well in that game. We played superb. We scored 3 goals past them, and as Mike keeps saying, no disrespect to Corinthian. You know, you probably feel like, oh, we should have won that, but...
And I think that they would say from the second half perspective that they came out a lot better. My personal view is...
I heard someone say that at the football.
The second half, I would say, was even. They probably had the better chances. I think they hit the bar and things like that. But, you know, nevertheless, the first half, away from home against a team relegated to Step 5, so they're used to playing at a higher level. Again, whether that's their players that they had last season or not is irrelevant. First half, we blew them away. I was blown away by the quality of our performance.
I think we played very well against Corinthian. That was a very, very good match. A nice win for us and our first win of the pre-season.
And I think the final thing on Corinthian was that the two halves was almost like two different games. So it was two different performances from Crowborough. First half was a real attacking, driving forward, skill, slick passing performance. In the second half, we had to get a little bit dirtier. We had to frustrate the opposition. So it was really good to see that we could change our tactic and change how we played to ultimately keep them to one goal.
Yeah. And our first home game we have now, Crowborough Athletic versus Deal Town. I've already said it was our first home game, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and it was a loss, unfortunately, as well.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, it's 1-0 to Deal Town. If it had been 0-0, I think both sides would have probably left happy. Clearly, they'll be happy with the win. But again, it wasn't a bad performance. Deal Town consistently one of the top sides in the SEEFL, so the Kent League, whereas we're more the Sussex League now. So I felt it was a really, really good performance. And again, maybe if we'd have been a little bit more clinical, we'd have come out of the game with a draw. But all in all, I was really pleased.
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't at that match, so were we the better team, or tell me a bit about that?
I thought it was quite even. I remember watching Deal Town not last season, the season before, when we were in the SEEFL League, and they beat us 3-0. And I came away thinking, wow, that is a good team. So pre-season, lose 1-0 and be quite an even performance, I was really, really pleased. Because Deal Town, I think, are a really strong team, and I think that they'll be up there looking for promotion themselves in albeit a different league.
Yeah, I can't remember if I went to Staplehurst Monarchs.
Staplehurst Monarchs.
Staplehurst.
Yes, you did. It was a Tuesday evening.
It looks like Staplehurst Monarchs, the way it says.
It's probably a bit small on the phone screen for Aiden here. Staplehurst Monarchs, it was an evening game against the Step 6 side, so clearly just stating where they are. And I think the good thing about this from a Crowborough perspective was that playing against a team like Staplehurst Monarchs, their pitch wasn't as nice as some that we'll play at this year, but we're going to get that in various places. The team were a little bit more physical, a little bit more long ball in their tactics, and so it was a different challenge to Muggsy's team. And a 0-0 draw. Arguably, they could have beaten us, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think that I remember what game it was now. I think it was a quite even game. I think both sides could have easily won it, but I also think we played really well in that match. So
it's a different type of performance on the pitch, and I have to reference the pitch. We couldn't play our game on that pitch, so we had to adapt. And again, it's a real learning point for pre-season.
We weren't used to pitches like Staplehurst has, to be honest.
Lead Town last Saturday at home lost 2-1.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that one now. I can't really remember that many pre-season matches. I remember a few. I just remember going to a lot of pre-season matches and not going to one.
Yeah, it's quite hard to summarise them all sort of off the bat, and I must admit this is one that's standing out less in my head. But I do remember coming away thinking that we probably shouldn't have lost that. But again, Lead Town probably one of the favourites in our sort of sister division next season. As I understand it, and I may be wrong, but have a big budget of players. They came down and they've got a kit van that's a fancy Mercedes and things like that. And they seem a real professional outfit. As far as I'm aware, they'd signed some players from the likes of Hastings, a couple of leagues above. I had heard Dartford. Again, if I'm wrong, I'm just going off hearsay, so I'm not claiming that to be gospel.
Once again, I remember actually that match, and I don't think we should have won. We should have lost that at all.
Yeah, I feel like we were even if not better, but the result 2-1. I remember speaking to Muggs at the end and saying it was a good performance.
It should have been a draw, in my opinion. It shouldn't have been a loss. But we got that one goal, so at least we got a goal from that.
And finally, before we do a quick preview of today's game, because I'm conscious we need to get this up, it's 1 o'clock now. So 2 hours to kick off, which is really exciting. But
yeah, I'm really excited for this. Come on, Borough.
Wednesday's game, Larkfield and New Hythe.
Yeah, Larkfield and New Hythe versus Crowborough. So I think I really enjoyed watching that game actually. I think it's hard to summarise it really, but I think that was just a good game. We played well.
Thought we played very well. Their goal came from a penalty that, I think if the ref watched that back, it was never a penalty.
Yeah, that was actually, the ref made some dodgy calls in my opinion. That was never a penalty. Never a penalty.
And if it was a league game, there was an incident where one of our players had gone down and their player, seconds after, so the ref had blown the whistle, started walking over, and then just for whatever reason pushed our player, which should have been a red card.
On one bit it looked like one of our players got pushed next to the Crows TV camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, very physical side. They were okay on the ball, not doing them a disservice again. But I felt that we blew them away, and the amount of shots that we were having that were that far away, or the keeper made a save. I think that actually the scoreline could have been a lot greater. But all in all, I think just to summarise pre-season, despite the losses and the draws, it's been really, really good.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching some games, but I know I'm going to enjoy much more the new season, and it's getting underway now, and hopefully this is our year. So
on to just to wrap it up, and again the idea here is to keep these quite short.
About 5 to 10 minutes, I'd say.
10 to 15. We're at 12.
10 to 15, yeah.
At the moment, but we have summarised the whole of pre-season for you, if I can get my teeth in. Saltdean today. So I was actually quite impressed with Saltdean last season. I don't know about you. The 2 games we played them, I think. And next time we'll do research, but I think we beat them both times.
Yeah, that's funny. Because our first game last season was against Saltdean as well.
Yeah, it was away. We won 2-1 in that game. I won't look up the other results, but
unfortunately, again, I couldn't go to that match because I think I was staying at my granddad's or something. But,
possibly.
Yeah, but I couldn't go to that match. But as far as I heard, we won. So, and when I was doing the highlights of it, I remember I saw some brilliant goals from some of our players, just simply class goals. Yeah.
So I think we've got a lot to look forward to today. The squad is as I said earlier, we've managed to hold most of our squad from last season, which is really, really positive. I think we've got a great group of players. Morale seems really good between them. All we have to do is go out, we cross that line, we go to war, and we go and get the 3 points, and then shake hands at the end.
Go to war, that's a bit,
That's what it is. It's in football, you cross that line, there's 90 minutes, where the other team are your enemy. After that and before the game, I'm sure that there'll be good spirits, because that's what we had last year, and I look forward to welcoming Saltdean and their players, management and committee to the community stadium.
Right, so come to the match today, have a burger with us, have a pint, and cheer on the Crows. Come on, Borough, and good luck for today. We'll see you later in another video on Crows Cast, where we summarise the game against Saltdean after it's been played. See you there.
Also, look forward to next week's games, because we've got 2 games coming up to preview as well.
And we're going to do a Crows Cast after every single game, I should think. So yeah, you're going to see more of us on your screen talking about Crows matches and everything Crowborough. So we'll see you about the Saltdean game.
See you there
tomorrow. See you later.